my very first blog, I wanted to make this vlog about my journey to trying to conceive my first child, so I figured that a really good way to start this might be the TTC tag that I saw on Maddie B's YouTube, and but I think she originally got it from someone named Jenny Wagner, so but it's just 20 questions, basically a little bit about my journey, so I will get started. Alright, number one, what is your name? My name is Casey. How old are you? I am 29 years old, so as you can imagine, my biological clock is really starting to tick a lot louder than it used to be. 3, what is your marital status? I'm married. I've been married for, it'll be 3 years this month on the 20th, so, but we've been together for almost 6. What is your significant other's name and how old are they? My husband's name is Ryan and he is 30, but he'll be 31 next month. How long have you been trying to conceive? We've been openly and actively trying to conceive basically since we got married, so just about 3 years, but we stopped trying to prevent probably about 5 years ago. So it's been a while. It's been a long, hard road. What number child will this be for you? It will be my first, but it would be my husband's third. He has 2 children from a previous relationship. My stepson is 8, and my stepdaughter will be 12 next month, which makes me feel a lot older than I am, but that's another vlog for another day. Number 7, what medical issues, if any, do you have that might affect trying to conceive? Well, I recently found out I do have PCOS. It's something I always kind of thought I had, but I just started seeing a new doctor, and he said yeah. I might also have endometriosis, but I'm not sure on that one yet. I just had a biopsy done on my uterine lining on Tuesday, on the 8th. And I haven't heard back from that yet. They said it could take up to a week, so I'm hoping that sometime in the middle of next week or this coming week I'll know more about that to see if I have anything cancerous going on. So fingers crossed. I'm trying not to be nervous about that. I'm pretty confident that it's going to be negative. It's just another medical issue I have is I'm anovulatory, which my body doesn't like to ovulate on its own, so my periods are very irregular, and I just started seeing this doctor because I realized I hadn't had a period in over a year, so, which is not good. But so obviously the lining is very thick, and so they have to do that kind of testing before we can move on to, you know, move into treatments again. So I have those things going on, anovulatory, PCOS, possible endometriosis, so it's not really a good situation, especially since my husband also has kind of a lower sperm count. It's not super low, but it is low, so we are dealing with things on both sides of the fence, so yeah. Number 8, are you on any medications or treatments for infertility? Like I said, I just started seeing this new doctor. This was my second visit, was on last Tuesday, so I have not started any new treatments, and I'm not currently on any, but in the past, back in 2011, early 2012, before we moved out here about a year ago, I was seeing another doctor, and I tried a few rounds of Clomid, which did nothing for me. It actually worsened my scenario. And I also did 2 rounds of Follistim, which is the injectables in your stomach, which wasn't pleasant, but it actually seemed like it would be kind of promising, but we ended up having to move. My husband's in the military, so we had to pick up and move kind of before we were able to venture more into that. So my new doctor is saying that, you know, just depending on the results of the biopsy, if we can move forward into treatment, he's thinking about metformin, but I'm not sure about that yet. I will keep you updated on that and the test results. Number 9, do you use OPKs? If yes, how many do you keep in stock at all times? I don't, because of my issue with ovulation. That would all be Greek to me right now. There's no sense of regularity there, so I wouldn't even know when to test. So that might be something I would look for using in the future, but currently no. Number 10, are you crazy about taking pregnancy tests? If yes, answer questions 11 through 15. If no, skip to number 16. Not really, because of the fact that I'm so irregular. I don't ovulate often or ever, so I'm pretty realistic when it comes to knowing that chances are I'm not pregnant. But I do every once in a while, like maybe every other month, I'll take one anyway, because you never know. The body is a strange wonderland of possibilities, so I'll still take one every once in a while. So I mean, that might be a little crazy considering my situation, but in general, no. So I'm going to go ahead and skip to number 16. Do you wait until a missed period to start taking tests? Again, because of how irregular I am, it's kind of just a shot in the dark right now. So no, I don't wait. I'll just take one whenever I feel like things might be funny, or when, things might be going on. So 17, does everyone in your family or friends know you're trying to conceive? At first, I didn't want to tell anybody other than maybe like my best friend, but, because I didn't want to be constantly hounded about like when we were having a baby or if we were pregnant yet. But the thing is they ask me those questions anyway. So, so obviously it has come up with the larger circle of family and friends, when we were having a baby, I used to just be like, oh, well, we'll see, or, like, we're working on it, just trying to make a joke about it. But, so in that sense, they know that we want a baby, but only people like my mom, my best friend, a couple close friends, my husband's mother, really know that we're actively working at it and not having a lot of success. So very few people know the emotional side of it and that we're struggling. But yeah. Number 18, do you want a boy or a girl? Well, I can honestly say and I know everybody says it, and it's just the most expected and overused answer, but it really wouldn't matter. I really would be over the moon with either one. I have reasons for both sides, that, I would really want a girl or I would really want a boy. Now, that being said, however, I do feel like I might lean a little bit more towards boy, but that's only because my stepson, who's now 8, like I said earlier, ever since he was 2 years old, he has been talking about how badly he wants a little brother, that all the things that he would do with him and teach him, and it's just really heartwarming the way he talks about it. It kind of breaks my heart a little bit, because he has his older sister, who's my stepdaughter, but he also has a little sister from his biological mother. Her situation, she's got a little girl, and so he's the only boy, and he's really sick of having sisters. So in a sense, I guess I would be really happy that if we had a boy for my stepson. But me personally, I have just as many reasons to want a girl too. So it's not just a cop-out answer. I really wouldn't care either way. Number 19, how long will you try before you take a break or give up? Now this, in the past, I said that if it didn't happen by the time I was 30, it was never going to happen. I didn't want to be pregnant when I was in my 30s. But now that I'm 29, here, I just turned 29. But, if I don't get pregnant the next month or two, I would be having a child when I'm 30, which, now that I'm really at this crossroads, it's not as big of a deal as I thought it would be. Obviously, I still wish I would have had children younger. But the thing is, nowadays, having your first kids in your 30s is a lot more common. Some people aren't even starting families until they're in their early 40s or so, so on and so forth. So, it's a lot less strange to me now, because I certainly don't feel like I'm too old to be, having kids. So maybe age is just a number as far as that's concerned. I don't feel like 30 is that big of a deal. So, that is no longer the same. But I did take a break late 2011 and most of 2012, and now I wish I hadn't, but we were trying for so long that I just kind of it wore me down, which that again is that's a vlog for another time. I'll probably talk more about that later. But, you know, I did take a break. I wish I hadn't. But, you know, I'm back on the saddle now, seeing another doctor. So, and, yeah, I guess if we were going to give up for good, it would be if, you know, we tried everything we could with this new doctor. Because I have a good feeling about this one. I really do. But I think our breaking point would actually be if it got to the point where we would have to do things like IVF. We can't afford that. So just when finances would no longer allow us to move forward, that's when we would probably give up. Or, you know, maybe in a few years, if it hasn't happened, you know, I might lose my spirit with that. So I guess whichever one comes first. Hopefully we won't have to worry about that, but that would probably be the breaking point that would tip us over into just giving up. And the last question is your significant other on the same page as you as far as trying to conceive? I would say yes. Yes, he does want a child as much as I do, although there is one difference in the sense that he does already have 2 children of his own. So if we were to find out for whatever reason that we weren't able to have a child, I think he wouldn't have as great of a sense of loss because he already has 2 biological children, you know, that maybe I would. Because if I find out that we can't, I will be absolutely heartbroken. Absolutely heartbroken. And, you know, I think that it wouldn't, you know, he'd still be sad, but I don't think he'd be affected nearly as much because he already has 2 children. So, but other than that, we are on the same page that we both want a child. So, yeah, fingers crossed. Hopefully the test results on Tuesday or Wednesday come back negative so we can move into this next chapter of our journey of trying to conceive. So, I will leave it here. Sorry for if there was ums and ahs and this was kind of awkward and long, but like I said, my first vlog, hopefully that covered some bases, and I will touch on specific topics a little more later if it comes up. So, yeah.